Today I've got something that I've waited a long time for, and that is the Mavic Air 2. I finally got this after ordering it like 3 minutes after it was announced for pre-order. So I finally got it in the mail. I'm going to take it out, test it, and I haven't really seen many reviews on the photo quality, so I will bring you guys along to show you what it can do with photos, and then we're going to bring them back here, edit them in Lightroom or whatever editing software you use, and see what exactly you can get from this. So thanks again for watching. Let's go. Hiking with a mask sucks, but I'm out here trying to find a good spot to fly the drone. I don't get bothered, and I can get some pretty sweet stuff. Also, this hill is going to be killer on the way back. It just occurred to me that this is the second video now that I do right by the water, by the ocean. What are you gonna do? It's LA, and we're right by the beach, and everything is closed, so the beach it is. There's an engagement photographer over there doing her thing. Shout out to her for keeping her photo business alive during this pandemic. I think that's awesome. Here's this tiny little guy, the case that it came with. Very small, about the palm of my hand. Not bad. Not bad at all. So I switched to my regular glasses just so I can judge the exposure better. And I've got my screen brightness almost all the way. How did you first hear about Mavic Air 2? How didn't I hear about Mavic Air 2? Am I right? Find some composition, get some snaps, switch this to photo mode, 48 megapixels. It seems as though you can't shoot just RAW photos, you have to shoot JPEG and RAW. Let me know in the comments if I'm doing that wrong and there is a way to just shoot RAW, because if we're shooting RAW, we don't really need JPEGs, at least in my opinion. It hesitates a little bit to take a photo. You know, it's not like bam, photo, bam, photo. It's like photo, wait 3 seconds, photo, wait 3 seconds. Not the biggest deal, but you're also not going to be shooting like a football game with this. That's why this water's coming in really close, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. This has a fixed aperture, I believe 2.8, so you're left exposing with ISO and shutter. Just something to keep in mind. This thing is awesome, the functionality is great. I do wish that there was a way to adjust the aperture, but again, that's something that only the Mavic 2 Pro does. I haven't been able to test it in super high ISOs, and actually, I think we have some time. Let's test the super high ISO. I'm actually going to take a picture of myself. I'm gonna crank the ISO to 6400, which is the max. Oh, so it's max ISO in photo mode is 3200, and max shutter speed in photo mode is also 1/1000th of a second. We'll go to 4000, bring it in a little bit here without chopping my face off, and we'll say hello. Some of the noise that might come from shooting at high ISO might not be apparent because it is still daylight out. And I think that should do it. Let's go pop these into Lightroom and see what came of it. Remember I was saying the way back up was going to be brutal? That's the way back up. It's actually really nice out here. I think I'm going to take some photos first. Okay, I'm finally back home. I'm going to import these photos into Lightroom, do some editing with them, see how far I can push them. I'm going to be using Lightroom for the purposes of this video, but if you use iPhoto or any other photo editing software, let me know in the comments what you guys are using. Hopefully you can get some benefit from this too. Also, pro tip, I'm going to show you guys a little something I do while editing just to push along the creative process. Cheers to everyone who might be having a quarantine drink or soda. Kids out there, soda. Hopefully this video will be helpful to you. Subscribe if you like what you've seen so far. Let's put these photos in here and see what it's like. Here we go. So I've got the photos into Lightroom, and let's see this first one here. Pretty good. It looks pretty awesome. This was at ISO 100 and 400ths of a second. Zoom in here. So zoomed in, you can still get a lot of detail. The images look a little saturated to me, but again, that's all something we can fix here. Let's bring down this hotspot right here. Put our highlights tool. Bring up the shadows for detail. Yeah, this looks pretty great. Again, the saturation is a little bit too much for my taste, so I'm gonna bring that down just a pinch, and then give my black some depth. And this would probably be a bit better and sharper at f8 or a higher aperture, obviously. But for shooting at f2.8, and since we're pixel peeping at this point, so far this looks pretty cool. Let's check out another one here. I tried to take pictures that were like high contrast images, and it seemed to do pretty well to keep details here in the shadow, which we can bring up here and then bring our highlights down to like even it out a little bit. Again, saturation a little bit too much. Zoomed in, pretty damn good. It does a good job of not blowing out the details in either the highlights or the shadows. And a lot of information seems to be saved in the raw file, so you can pull back exposure and save images if by accident you overexpose them. You can bring it way down, way up. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this image quality. Outside of obviously the images being oversaturated, which is a personal preference thing. I was a bit worried that a 1/2" sensor or a non-adjustable aperture was going to be a problem, but so far this is looking pretty wild. Oh yeah, this is awesome. Color temperature changes nicely in every image. Zoom in, see these birds, they look a little fuzzy when you zoom in on them, but you can definitely tell this was taken with a high megapixel sensor, which is 48 megapixels on the Mavic Air 2. So pretty happy with that. And this image is pretty sick. So, what did the high ISO images look like? I made a collection over here of high ISO. And there's the picture of me at 3200 and 4000th of a second. I can already see the colors are blown way out in terms of detail and fringing. If I zoom into my face here, you'll be able to see that nasty sort of chunky look that you get from high ISOs. But still pretty sharp. You can see the details in my face pretty well. So again, not as impressive at the high ISOs, but I don't really intend to shoot at that high of an ISO. But in a pinch, I mean, I guess it's good to have. So I'm going to go into these pictures of rocks, also at high ISO. Pretty good, still pretty sharp. It does start to look a little more cell phone-y at this point, but again, it's like a high quality cell phone, so. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope I was able to give you some insight as to what to expect from the photos of the Mavic Air 2. Overall, I was really impressed with this little drone. I would not feel like I was compromising if I bought this as my main drone for photos. This is an incredible piece of technology that you can all take some amazing photos with. Feel free to share them with me. I'd love to see them, and see you on the next video. Oh, somebody else is flying their drone and I almost hit mine. Where the hell are you, ADSB?